Sally, Nellie, and Kelly are hanging out at the beach. They play volleyball and have a lot of fun. But then their ball flies away into the bushes. Nellie leaves the playground to bring it back, and she never comes back. Kelly and Sally look everywhere, but Nellie is gone. They begin to panic and call the police. Detective Bold arrives quickly, finds 3 suspects, and questions them. Bill says, "I've been chilling here since morning, but I didn't notice anything." Kyle says, "I arrived here just now, so I have no idea what's going on." And Mike says, "I was diving in the sea and watching the corals." Can you figure out the kidnapper? It's Kyle. He's wearing the same cap as Nellie. It seems too small for his head. That's because Kyle kidnapped Nellie and stole her cap. Sally returns to the apartment building where she lives. Wow, there's a basket with a cute little kitten on her porch. Sally takes 2 pictures to send them to her friends. Can you spot 3 differences between them? Here they are. Sally wants to know who brought the kitten, so she interrogates her neighbors. Tom says,
"I've been playing video games since early morning. I didn't leave my place at all."
Tim says, "I've been working out and I haven't left my apartment yet." Tyler says, "I stayed home all day too. I was too busy playing basketball." Who's lying? Tyler. He's playing with a soccer ball, not a basketball. Moreover, it's pretty hard to play basketball alone inside the apartment. Sally goes to the supermarket to buy some milk for the kitten. Only these 3 packs of milk are left on the shelf. Can you help Sally choose the best option? The second milk expired 2 centuries ago, and the third milk carton is bloated, which means that it has already turned sour. Therefore, Sally should grab the first milk. Sally has been working as a cab driver for several years. One day, a police officer finds Sally unconscious in her car. Someone attacked her and stained the car with glue. The officer checks Sally's app account. Sally had quarrels with 3 clients recently, so he interrogates them. Rob says, "I took a cab to the university. When we arrived, Sally asked me to pay extra money for parking, and we had a brief quarrel, but I wouldn't put my future career at risk for a couple of dollars." Karen says, "Yesterday, I received an emergency call. My husband got to the hospital, so I needed to get there as soon as possible. But Sally was driving very slowly. That's why we had a quarrel." And Mrs. Green says, "I was returning home from the supermarket after grocery shopping. Sally asked for extra money for helping me with the bags. I didn't like it." After hearing their stories, the officer knows for sure who's guilty. What about you? Take a closer look at Sally's car. It's parked near the hospital, which means that Karen's trip was the last one before the attack. Therefore, she did it. Sally is feeling much better and she gets back to work. She needs to pick up her client at a restaurant. Her app offers 3 possible routes, but only one of them will actually bring her to the desired destination. Can you guess which one? Sally should choose the second route. Sally parks her car near the restaurant and faces the following scene. One of these ladies has a ghost mother. Can you guess who? The second lady is a ghost mother. Take a look at her mother's face. She's even younger than her daughter, which means that time has stopped for her a long time ago. Moreover, she leans over a candle without any fear of an open flame. Sally wants to visit her boyfriend Ken at his office, but the front door is locked. Can you help Sally figure out the 5-digit code? Let's take a closer look at these scratches. These are hints. All Sally needs to do is count the number of intersections. So the code is 23504. Finally, Sally gets inside Ken's lab. He shows her a spaceship from another galaxy. Ken found it and managed to repair everything except the dashboard. How should these wires be connected to make it work? Here, we see unfamiliar symbols from another galaxy. Our task is to determine which word each symbol corresponds to. These dots are put in the same places as the tails of some letters. This way, we can find a match for each word and connect the wires. Suddenly, Sally gets sick. She has a headache and a sore throat. Ken only has 4 pills that are identical to each other. They don't have any cover or instructions. So there's no way he can identify which pill serves that purpose. The only thing he knows is that 2 of these 4 pills will cure the throat and the remaining 2 will help with the headache. Sally should take 1 of each kind to heal. What should she do? The only solution available is to cut each pill in half, and then take 1/2 from each of the 4 pills. This way, she'll definitely have 1 pill of each kind. Ken offers Sally to live together. They begin to look for a new apartment and arrange 3 meetings with landlords. Each tells a story about their property. Mrs. Gray says,
I inherited this amazing apartment from my sister, but now I want to rent it for the long term because I'm moving to a farm with my husband.
Oliver says,
I've been living in this property for 5 years, and it's in perfect condition. But now I'm moving abroad for work. So I'd like to find good tenants who will take care of it.
And Rose says, This apartment belongs to my mother-in-law. She lives in Europe and asked me to find new tenants. Only one of these landlords is trustworthy. Can you guess who? There's an advertisement near Mrs. Gray's apartment. This property is for sale. Therefore, she probably lied about the long-term lease. And now, let's take a closer look at Oliver's ceiling. It's leaking. Therefore, his apartment is not in perfect condition. Liar! Sally's kitten ran away. She's been looking for her pet all day long. Suddenly, Sally meets her neighbor holding her kitten. He says, I'll give your pet back only if you crack my riddle. I'm the last thing you take off when you go to bed. What am I? Ready to hear the correct answer? I'm your feet, and you take them off the floor. Sally brings her kitten to the vet for a checkup. There, she meets 2 doctors, but only one of them is a real vet doctor. Can you spot who exactly? Real doctors usually wear gloves at work, but the guy on the left doesn't wear any, although he's holding a dog. Sally wants to get a job in a magic shop. The owner gives her a test assignment to find a love potion on this shelf. Sally is very confused because the recipes are too complicated. Luckily, Sally's possible future coworker, Glenda, agrees to give Sally a hint. She provides her with a bunch of recipes, and now Sally needs to figure out the correct one by herself. She only knows that a love potion should contain these 5 ingredients. Can you help her find the right bottle? Only the third bottle has all the required ingredients, so Sally should grab it. Sally succeeds and gets the job. Now her task is to go to the storage and find a fake mirror. Can you help her? Only the second mirror shows the correct reflection, so the remaining two are fake. Sally and Glenda get hungry and order some food. Their meals are almost identical, but in fact, they have 3 differences. Can you spot them? Here they are.
A mysterious, daring thief committed a series of bank robberies in the city. The criminal is acting with a unique style. He leaves enigmatic pictures with 2 symbols at each crime scene. Detectives are confused. But thankfully, a police dog helps them track traces and leads them to an old house in a creepy neighborhood. The detectives find 3 suspects, but each of them has a strong alibi. Mr. Wildrose says, "I was busy celebrating my birthday with friends." Mr. Showberry says, "I was visiting a nighttime art exhibition, but unfortunately it wasn't allowed to take pictures inside." And Mr. Greenman says, "I had to stay home because I was sick. My mother was taking care of me, so she can verify my words." Can you spot the thief? Do you remember the picture of the crime scene? It shows a snowflake and a berry. This hint points to Mr. Snowberry. The detectives arrest Mr. Snowberry, but he finds a way to escape from his cell. The policemen are chasing him around a 2-story jail building. Mr. Snowberry hides on the roof and decides to jump off it. Can you guess why he decided to jump instead of climbing this tree? If he climbs the tree, he'll disturb these birds. They'll fly away and the police will notice him. Mr. Snowberry jumps and blacks out. After a while, he wakes up and finds himself locked in a small room. Mr. Snowberry looks around and finds a door. He tries to open it, but it's locked. He notices 3 buttons on the door. There's a circle on the first button, a triangle on the second one, and a square on the third button. He doesn't know which one he should press to unlock the door. Luckily, he finds a note with 3 numbers, 12, 4, and 8. Can you guess which button he should choose? There's a clock right above the door, and it's here for a reason. If we draw lines connecting 12, 4, and 8, we'll get a triangle. So he should press the triangle button. Mr. Snowberry manages to escape. He's starving and makes a stop at a restaurant. The waiter brings 2 trays of food. There are 3 differences between these meals. Can you spot them? Ready to see the correct answer? Here they are.
Yes!
The policemen spot Mr. Snowberry at the restaurant. They begin to chase the criminal, and he hides in this street. Can you help them find Mr. Snowberry? He's over here. Finally, Mr. Snowberry ends up in jail. But the city is shocked by another crime that happened in a historical museum. Someone stole an ancient emerald statue during an exhibition. This artifact is expensive and very rare. So the detective starts his investigation immediately. He finds 3 suspects who were standing close to the crime scene. But each of them denies any involvement in the theft. Jeff says, "I was recently released from prison. I'd like to recover my reputation, so I avoid any trouble with the law." Peter, who claims to be a writer, says, "I would never risk my reputation for the sake of some stupid statue." And Frank says, "Sir, I'm a billionaire. I have enough money to buy this entire museum." Who is lying? Frank. He said he's a billionaire. Why would he wear a fake brand? Molly's kitten is missing. She's looking for her pet in the park and comes across these three strangers. One of them stole her kitten. Can you guess who? The first lady is just holding a bag with a toy cat. The second lady is pregnant. But the third guy is hiding a real kitten under his clothes. A weird incident happened at Mr. Green's hotel. All the fish disappeared from the aquarium. It's late, so Mr. Green suspects only 4 employees. Bobby, the porter, says, "I spent the whole day carrying guest bags, so I simply didn't have time for any thefts." The cleaner, Amy, says, "When I arrived at work, the aquarium was already empty." The waiter, Harry, says, "I was working all day, so I didn't walk near the aquarium." Meanwhile, Mary, the manager, says, "I don't like fish at all. I prefer dogs." After hearing their stories, Mr. Green knows for sure who stole the fish. What about you? Take a look at the puddle on the floor. Seems like Harry has recently gotten soaked, probably because he was trying to catch the fish from the aquarium. Oh no! Lauren checks into Mr. Green's hotel. In the lobby, she meets 3 porters who offer to take care of her luggage. But only one of them is trustworthy. Can you guess who? The first porter wears 2 watches, one on his left hand and one on his right. The left watch is too big, so it's probably stolen.
Really?
It's not safe to trust your luggage to a thief. And the third porter is a ghost. His feet don't touch the ground. Therefore, Lauren should trust the second guy. Me? I just get out of that hotel. Anyway, Lauren goes to the local nightclub. Kyle, Tom, and Nick invite her to dance. But only one of them is safe to dance with. What's your guess? Tom wears a leather jacket with sharp spikes.
Oh.
He can accidentally scratch Lauren while dancing. Take a look at Kyle's feet. It looks like he's about to turn into a werewolf.
Oh my god.
Lauren returns to the hotel and finds out that someone stole her favorite necklace from her room.
Oh god.
She runs to the lobby and faces 4 people: a manager, a janitor, a guest, and a porter. She asks, "Who stole my necklace?" But everyone swears to have nothing to do with the robbery. Can you help Lauren find the thief? It's the manager. She hid Lauren's necklace in her glass of water.
What?
The next morning, Lauren is having breakfast in the garden. Suddenly, somebody pulls a paint bucket prank on her. Take a look at the hotel guests. Can you figure out who did it? It was definitely the first guy. There are paint stains on his pants, and the color matches the prank paint perfectly. In the garden, Lauren finds something very curious. It's not alive, but it has 5 fingers. What is it? A glove. Mr. Green enters his office and finds a pleasant surprise on his desk. Someone brought a huge box of his favorite chocolates. Yes. Mr. Green questions his employees, but everyone swears to have nothing to do with the gift. The cleaning lady, Glenda, says, "Sir, I haven't entered your office room yet. I was too busy cleaning the bathrooms." The hostess, Holly, said, "I entered your room 2 hours ago to bring some documents." I didn't notice any chocolates." And the manager, Kara, said, "Wow, I had no idea you like chocolates. I started my shift 30 minutes ago and I didn't leave the lobby." Who's the secret admirer? Can you guess? According to Kara, she didn't enter Mr. Green's office, but she dropped one of her hairpins on the floor. Mr. Green invites Kara for lunch at the local buffet. There are 4 meals that they can enjoy: pizza, pasta, salad, and sushi. However, some of these meals are not safe. Can you figure out which ones? This pasta contains shoelaces, so it's not safe to eat. And there's a bee sitting on the sushi. It can sting, so this option isn't safe either. Lauren goes for a walk in the forest. Suddenly, she sees a weird cave with mysterious lights.
Oh my god.
She enters the cave and gets teleported to a parallel universe. Can you help her spot the difference between this reality and the normal world? This lady is wearing shoes on her hands. Well, that's weird. Lauren meets a wizard who promises to send her home. But first, she has to crack his riddle. Spelled forwards, I'm what you do every day. Spelled backward, I'm something you hate. What am I? If we spelled live backwards, we'll get evil. So the correct answer is live. Harry and Larry are twins. They were born in May, but their birthday is in June. How is this possible? Well, it's possible because May is a town. Gotcha.
Bella is planning a workshop for hairdressers. She needs a model with natural hair color. Bella gets messages from 3 candidates: Kelly, Shelly, and Sally. She looks through their social media and finds out that only one of these ladies didn't lie. Can you guess who has natural hair color? Kelly has gray roots, so she dyes her hair. Shelly has yellow blonde hair. It looks pretty natural, but it proves nothing. Meanwhile, Sally has red hair. And she has family pictures that show that her parents and siblings have the same hair color. So, Bella should choose Sally. The next day, Bella goes hiking with her friends, Jeff and Kim. They're hanging out on a high rock. Can you spot who's in danger? Bella is blindfolded and she's approaching a cliff break. Jeff is digging with a shovel, but there are electrical wires underneath. And Kim is just trying to feed a squirrel, but everyone is in danger. Bella can fall down, Jeff can get electrocuted, and the squirrel can bite Kim. Bella enters a cave to take some pictures, but suddenly an earthquake occurs. The exit is now blocked with stones. Bella looks around and finds 3 passages leading outside. There's a hungry wolf inside the first tunnel. The second passage is filled with toxic mushrooms. Just one bite can be fatal for any human. And inside the third tunnel, there's a water-filled tank with a shark. Which way is more or less safe? Bella should choose the second passage. The mushrooms are only dangerous when eaten. No one is forcing Bella to eat them. Bella is walking back home and sees a lonely dog on a playground. One of these guys is its owner. Can you guess who? The dog belongs to the second guy. He's skimming a newspaper to be able to look after his dog. Also, he's holding a collar that matches the dog's size. Meanwhile, another man is scrolling his feed on the phone and pays no attention at all. Bella arrives at work. She's been trying to open the door leading to her office, but it's locked. Someone changed the 4-number combination. Can you help her crack the passcode? There's the word hide written next to the door. If we replace each letter with its serial number in the alphabet, we'll get the code 8945. Bella opens the beauty salon, looks around, and spots 3 weird things about this place. Can you see them too? The mirror doesn't reflect reality. There's a spoon in this box of combs, and this unplugged hairdryer is working. Bella hears weird sounds from the street. She looks out the window and sees 2 women and 1 man arguing. One of the ladies is his wife. Can you guess who? The man and the lady in a yellow shirt have matching rings. Therefore, she's his wife. 3 clients arrive at the beauty salon and ask for old-fashioned hairstyles. Bella takes a look at them and spots a ghost right away. What about you? The first lady is dressed up as a ghost, but she's wearing jeans underneath her costume, so she's probably an actress. The third lady looks like an ordinary person with conservative tastes. But take a closer look at the second lady's feet. They don't touch the floor, so she's the ghost. Bella goes to the nearest store to buy some food for lunch. She sees 3 women in a line. Only one of them is a mother. Can you guess who? The first woman has a cart full of goods including diapers, but the size is big, so they're for elderly people. The third lady is buying fireworks, soda, and red cups. But it proves nothing. She's probably just going to throw a party. Meanwhile, the second lady has a stain on her dress and she looks pretty sleepy, so she's a mother. Bella moves on to the next store. There's a line with 3 customers, and one of them is a thief. Can you guess who? The third guy is wearing an oversized sweater, but he's innocent. Meanwhile, the second guy in a hoodie hid the stolen goods in his hood. The next morning, Bella wakes up in an abandoned house. A creepy voice says,
I'll set you free if you guess the password correctly.
"Can you help her escape?" Take a look at the letters on the wall. We can rearrange them into a dream house. Bella is meeting her best friend Kyle in a restaurant. He's about to introduce her to his future wife, Nellie. But Nellie has a twin sister, Kelly, who's also attending the dinner. Can you help Bella figure out which lady is Kyle's fiancée, Nellie? The twins look exactly the same, but Nellie has a heart-shaped necklace. Bella is watching the videos of her favorite travel bloggers. One of these guys is a millionaire, while the other one is broke. Can you guess who is who? The first guy is broke. He photoshopped himself into this picture on the beach. The palm trees have shadows directed to the left. Meanwhile, his own shadow is directed to the right. Why would a millionaire fake his vacation? Today, Bella's beauty salon celebrates its 5th birthday. She invited a lot of friends, including her boyfriend, Tim. Before the event, she calls Bella, saying,
I'm at work, but I promised to be at the party at 9 o'clock.
Tim comes over in 9 hours and 3 minutes. He brings pretty flowers and chocolates, but Bella bursts into tears because she's very mad. Why? Bella was expecting her boyfriend to arrive at 9 p.m., but he came at 9 a.m. the next morning. Two ladies show up at Bella's beauty salon. One of them is super rich. Can you guess who? The second lady is a bag designer. The first lady is wearing her brand. So, the second one must be really rich. Bella is attending Kyle's wedding. All of his friends show up looking rich and fabulous. Mike has a bunch of expensive gadgets. Chuck is wearing a brandy suit. And Lily is driving an exclusive sports car. But only one of them is really rich. Can you guess who? Take a closer look at Chuck's suit. He didn't remove the price tag, so he's probably planning on returning it after the wedding. This fancy sports car doesn't belong to Lily. It's rented. Therefore, Mike is the richest person here. There are too many guests at the wedding for such a small cake. But Bella manages to grab a slice. She puts a plate with her cake on a table and leaves for 5 minutes to wash her hands. Then she comes back and sees an empty plate. Bella questions 3 guests. Alice says, "I've been dancing non-stop for the last 2 hours. I didn't eat anything." Chuck says, "It wasn't me who ate the cake. I'm on a sugar-free diet. But I guess it was Alice. I don't trust her." Lily says, "I didn't touch your cake. I was helping the bride braid her hair." Who's lying? Take a closer look at the bride's hairstyle. She doesn't have any braids. Therefore, Lily's story is fake. The wedding is going well, but at some point the bride notices that her diamond ring is missing. The robber manages to escape from the wedding, and he's hiding nearby. Can you spot him? He's over here. The next morning, Bella arrives at her beauty salon. Oh no! Someone stained the walls with paint. Bella finds 3 suspects and questions them. Molly replies, "I spent the last 3 days in another state at my parents' house. You can ask them if you don't believe me." Kelly says, "Yesterday I stayed here after closing to dye my hair. Sheila was helping me with my black roots. But then we left." And Sheila says, "Yesterday I was feeling sick and left earlier. The walls were fine." Who's lying? Kelly. She said she dyed her black roots, but they're still there.
Hannah runs a dance show. She arrived in Finland with the 3 best dancers to perform during the winter holidays. On the first day of the trip, Hannah started to feel really bad and was taken to the doctor. After examining Hannah, the doctor claimed that someone had poisoned the girl. Hannah's manager flew in to interrogate each one of the dancers and find out if they'd had anything to do with what happened to Hannah. Kira said that she and the other girls had left the hotel early in the morning to explore the city. She also mentioned that Hannah had stayed behind to do a conference call in her room. Pam said she had spent the afternoon swimming at the beach, and that when she returned, she noticed Hannah was looking pretty bad. April said she decided to go to the museum all by herself since the other girls didn't want to join her. Hannah's manager noticed the girls' testimonies didn't match, and that it was definitely one of them who'd done it. Can you guess who is the culprit? It was Pam.
Oh, no.
She mentioned she'd gone to the beach, but it's wintertime in Finland. The water is freezing and mainly frozen this time of the year. She should have worked better on her alibi.
Oh no!
Hannah's manager called the police, and they arrested Pam. Kira and April felt bad for their friend, but they still had to put on a show, and now they were a dancer short. The girls decided to look online for a new dancer. They found 3 girls who might do a good job at replacing Pam: Deborah, Lily, and Sally. One of the girls is a perfect match for the trio. Can you guess who? It's Sally. Both of the other profiles are fake. If you look closely at Deborah's picture, you'll see that the shadow on the back is not hers. It's definitely photoshopped. And look at Lily's birthday information. If that were true, she wouldn't have been born yet. Keith was a singer, and he was going to perform at Bath's House of Performing Arts. He was taking all of his equipment backstage to get ready for a sound check when a police officer ran into the room. The officer said that one of the actors from that night's show was a runaway criminal. There were 4 actors playing Santa Claus, but one of them was a fake. Take a look at their bags. Can you figure out who the criminal is? It's the owner of the 3rd bag. Santa never shaves off his beard, and that guy is carrying shaving cream. He must be the runaway. Becky just bought new augmented reality goggles. She decided to play one of the games available, and this picture popped up right in front of her. These 3 people sure are in some bizarre situations, but which one doesn't make any sense? The man on the left is walking on lava. Sure, someone can do that, although it won't last for too long without the right kind of shoes. The man on the right is walking on desert sand, which is fully normal. But the woman in the middle looks like she is walking on burning water. That definitely doesn't make any sense. Felicity was 10 weeks pregnant when she decided to try a new doctor in town. The doctor did an ultrasound of her belly and gladly said, "Ah, it's a boy." Felicity looked confused and said, "No, I'm pretty sure I'm having twins." The doctor was the one that looked confused after Felicity's answer. Take a look at both women. Can you tell who's right? Felicity is right. I mean, take a look at this doctor. She isn't even a real doctor in the first place. She's not wearing proper medical attire, and she doesn't look like she knows what she is doing. Alex watched one too many Indiana Jones movies and decided to go to Egypt to explore ancient monuments. He spent days and days walking underground to try to find something valuable. One morning, when exploring a crypt, he ran into a huge wall full of symbols. Among the symbols, there was an encrypted message. It went like this: sun plus sun equals sign, moon plus moon equals sign, wave plus wave equals sign. Can you help Alex figure out the encoded message? This is not an easy one, but here's how it works. Sun has 3 letters, moon has 4 letters, and waves has 5 letters. So the encrypted message is the number sequence. 6, 8, 10. Way to go, you. Take a good look at this image. Can you tell who is smarter? Let's see. There's a part of the house on fire, so ice would be a bad way to try to extinguish it. You would have to wait for the ice to melt into water. But during that time, the fire just grows. Liquid water is the best medium for rapid extinguishment, so the person on the right looks like they know what they are doing. Aura had been searching for the entrance to Bythia, a hidden city inside a mountain, for ages. She searched the 7 seas and the 7 lands until she finally found a hidden door, guarded by 3 ancient creatures. She asked them if this was the entrance to Bythia, but they wouldn't say a word. Finally, the wise owl said she had to give a correct answer to a riddle from each creature, and only then they would tell her about Bythia. The wise owl said, "I have branches, yet I'm not a tree. I have a bank, yet I hold no money. What am I? Can you help Aura out?" The correct answer is a river. A river has branches that flow into different streams, and the sides of the river are called riverbanks. The fox was up next, and his riddle said, I have a bed, yet I don't sleep. I have a mouth, yet don't eat. What am I? Aura took a while to figure this one out, but she got it right. Can you guess what she said? It's an oven, duh. Pretty obvious now that you think of it. Up next was the deer. He said, I have a face, yet no eyes to see. I have a tail, yet no ability to wag. What am I? Do you know how to answer this one? It's a clock. A clock has a face with numbers but no eyes. And it has a tail that we call a pendulum, but it doesn't wag like an animal's tail. The wise owl opened the door and showed Aura that there were 3 pathways leading to Bethia. She should choose the correct one, otherwise she would get stuck in this in-between place forever and would never be able to get out. Take a look at the pathways. Which one should Aura choose to complete her journey? The first pathway looks like it has some poisonous flowers. The air looks like it's filled with their poisoned pollen, so that wouldn't be a nice one to go. The second pathway has dozens of angry-looking stags that could harm Aura, and the last one has a big lake that leads into a trail. She should go with the last one. On a rainy Saturday night, John and Katie decided to stay in, order pizza, and watch the Riddle channel on their TV. On the screen, they saw a man hanging for his life on the branch of a tree. He was surrounded by angry people. Down below, there were a group of guys with huge bats waiting for him to let go of the branch, and above him was an angry guy on a helicopter ready to grab him. Is there any way the guy can escape this trap? He should throw the bat that's in his pocket to the floor, aiming at the group below him. Hopefully, it would hit the guys below on the head, so he could let go of the branch and run as fast as he could into that nearby tunnel. This way, he'd escape the helicopter dude as well. It's Lily's birthday, and Leah offered to treat her to a spa day. They arrived at the marvelous Pink Lotus Boutique Spa for their day of treatment and were sent to different rooms. One of the women received a text on their phone saying, "Be careful. Take a look at the image. Can you tell which friend is in danger?" It's Lily. The drink on that waiter's tray is definitely poisoned. She should get out of that place as fast as she can. Hello. Jonah woke up in a different timeline. Normally, he was a straight A student, but in this reality, he was a pretty bad student. His teacher put him in detention to see if his grades would get any better. During detention time, he had to solve some puzzles. For each puzzle he solved, he got points that would help him raise his grade. His first task was to find the difference between both images. He only had a few seconds, though. Can you help? Yep, that one on the right didn't have the scribble on the paper. For his next detention challenge, Jonah had to spot the difference between these two rabbits riding a motorcycle. Don't ask too many questions, just help him out. Yep, it was the helmet all along. Dana is a swimming champion preparing for her competition on Monday. 24 hours before the big day, she disappears. Nobody can find her. Her mother calls the police and asks them to investigate the crime, and they come up with 3 suspects. All of them are swimmers. Hannah says she hasn't spoken to Dana since their last practice. Ashley explains that she invited Dana for lunch on Saturday, But Dana refused because she was getting her hair done for the competition. And Melanie says that she spoke to Dana the night before. Dana told her that she was feeling anxious before the race. One of the swimmers is lying. Who is it? I mean, it's definitely Ashley. It doesn't make sense for a swimmer to get her hair done before a swimming match. It will get wet anyways. Daniel is a sailor on a large cruise ship. One day the captain asked him to go to the ship's lowest deck and get some supplies. But as the man was walking down the ladder, it broke and he fell down. Try as he might, he couldn't get out. And oh no! The situation was worse than he thought. There was a hole on the ship's hulk, and water was starting to fill the lower decks. Take a look around. Is there anything Daniel can do to save himself? Yep, he could put on a life jacket and wait for the water to fill the lower deck. He will simply float upwards, and then he can climb up those stairs again. I mean, if that ship doesn't go all Titanic, right?
Yeah.
Amelie was exploring her grandmother's closet when she came across something spectacular. A time machine. She set the date back to the 16th century and pressed go. She spent the day exploring a local market, but people kept looking at her differently. One man came up to her and said he knew she was a time traveler. He locked her in his basement and said he was going to look for where she hid the time machine. Amelie was so frustrated she got caught and was afraid she might never go back to her real life. That's when she saw that the basement had an old piano. Do you have any clue how Amelie can use that piano to escape? That's a tricky one, but she should play it until she finds the right key. You decided you needed to go on an adventure, so you packed your backpack and went hiking the Appalachian Trail. The thing is, since this was your first hike ever, you planned poorly. Your water only lasted for a day, and you needed a refill. Oh, no. There are 4 sources of water before you: a pond, a lake, a juicy cactus, and a stream. Which one should you drink water from? Most cacti are toxic, so you should keep away from them. The waters from the pond and the lake are stagnant water, so this means they could be filled with stuff that isn't good for you. So that leaves the stream water. Way to go, you. Oh, yeah. It's getting rather late, and you realize you're lost in the middle of the forest. Your phone's GPS is not working, and you're standing at a fork in the road. You can choose between 4 roads leading north, south, west, or east. The path that heads north will lead you to a black hole. The road that leads south goes through a lake full of huge whale sharks. The one that leads east passes through a crater-sized hole. And the one that leads west will take you to a sky-high mountain that is impossible to climb over. Which way will you choose? You should head south. Whale sharks pose no threat to people, and it's probably not true that they exist inside that lake. I mean, they are sea creatures. Harry has spent the last 2 weeks in Egypt exploring ancient pyramids. He's an archaeologist, and he was looking for some groundbreaking discoveries on the history of the mummies. Inside one of the pyramids, he found a secret chamber. Written on this chamber's walls was this: if one can answer correctly, an ancient secret will be revealed. And right below this, Harry found a riddle. The next answer that should escape your lips should be the creature wrapped up in cloth strips. Can you guess what Harry should answer? Mummy! He should simply say the word mummy. Tom escaped from prison by digging a long tunnel in the floor of his cell. He had been crawling through the underground tunnel for 3 hours when he saw that the main tunnel was divided into 3 smaller ones. The first tunnel was on fire. The second tunnel was home to a nest of venomous snakes, and the third tunnel was filled with explosives. Which tunnel should Tom take to continue his prison break? He should choose the tunnel with fire. He can put the fire out with the dust from the ground and make his way to freedom.
Yeah!
Sierra wanted to go to her favorite band's concert, but she didn't have enough money to buy the tickets. Her local radio station was putting on a contest and the winner would get tickets to the show. All she had to do was answer their riddle correctly. She called the radio station, and they asked her, "Every night I'm told what to do, and each morning I do what I'm told. But I still can't escape your scold. What am I?" Sierra won the tickets. Can you guess what she answered? The correct answer is an alarm clock. Sounds just about right, doesn't it? Amy woke up on an estranged island. She looked everywhere for something that could help her escape and found nothing. In the following days, she continued to look for something that could give her some direction, and came across 3 torn pieces of paper that could be joined to make one. She put everything together and managed to escape the island by water, using no other resources than the things she found. Can you figure out how she managed to do that? This one is tricky. Nothing was the name of the boat she found abandoned on the island.
Ooh.
Then she found torn pieces of paper that together made up a map. The map helped to guide her to the nearest inhabited island, and the boat helped her get out by water.
Yes!
Mirabelle walked into her father's deli and asked for a sandwich to go. When she looked to her right, she noticed something extremely out of the ordinary. Take a look at this image. Can you tell what it was? A turtle is hiding under the counter. This sure isn't normal. In Middleton High School, a teacher decided to play a game with students. She wrote a riddle on the board, and the first student that got the answer correctly would win a big prize. The riddle she wrote went like this: "I am clean when I'm empty, and I'm dirty when I'm full. What am I?" Barbara immediately knew the answer to this one and won the prize.
Yeah.
Can you guess what she answered? It's a chalkboard! The answer was right in front of her all along. Gabriel is an experienced trekker.
Yeah.
He went for a 3-day trek in the beautiful forests of Spain when he was captured by a mythical creature. The creature took him to a hidden realm and took away his backpack and all his belongings. After he took everything he needed, he left Gabriel in a dark cave all by himself. To leave the cave, Gabriel was supposed to choose one of 3 tunnels. The first tunnel had thousands of pointy crystals that could hurt him if he stepped on them. The second tunnel was filled with shadowy creatures that were eager for some of Gabriel's vitality. And the last tunnel had the belongings of an ancient wizard, his cape and some of his potions lying around. Which tunnel should he choose? I'd say the last one, right? Since it only has the wizard's belongings, the wizard himself is nowhere to be seen. Oh no. The third tunnel was a trap after all. It took Gabriel to the wizard's tower. When he walked into the tower's only room, he got locked inside it. And to make things worse, when he looked down, he saw that the tower was on fire. The room had no doors, and only a small window. Thankfully, he found there were 3 magic potions that could help him escape.
Yes!
The first potion had the power of giving him incredible physical strength. With the second potion, he could summon any animal he wanted to help him. And the last potion would turn into a vampire. Which potion should Gabriel choose? Well, no animal could help him escape the tower, and even if he had all the strength in the world, he wouldn't be able to beat the fire. But if he turned into a vampire, then he could transition into a bat and fly away through the little window. So the third bottle it is. Maya was exploring the realms when she opened a door that took her to Rainbow Land. This world was filled with flying unicorns and colorful fairies. But they were mischievous creatures that liked playing pranks with outsiders. So, they held Maya hostage until she could figure out the answer to their riddle. They asked her, "I'm a color you can eat. What am I?" Can you help Maya figure out the answer to this riddle? It's an orange! Way to go, Maya! But the fairy people were in the mood for playing more games, so they continued with their riddles. They asked Maya, "I make two people out of one. What am I?" Maya had to think for a while to answer this one, but she got it correctly.
Yes!
What did she answer? It's a mirror! Taylor was walking through the streets of New York City when she tripped over something, fell down, and hurt her head. When she woke up, she was at the hospital with doctors asking her a bunch of questions to see if she was all right. The funny doctor, who is known for his riddles, asked her, "What has a head, a tail, is brown, and has no legs?" Can you help Taylor out here? It's a penny. You can see how this riddle is misleading, but hey, you got it right. 3 people decided to spend their vacations in Antarctica. Bianca had some trouble with the harsh weather, but felt it was worth it in the end. Pablo had a great time photographing the penguins for his social media page, and Helena got to do some fishing while she was there. On the last day of their trip, passing through airport security, one of them got caught trying to take a penguin with them in their backpack. Take a look at the picture. Can you tell who it was? Let's see what we have here. Well, is that a penguin's feet poking out of Helena's backpack? It sure is. Guess she did more than just fishing during her vacation. Kailani was swimming in a dark underwater cave when she found a gold lamp. She rubbed the lamp, and a powerful merman came out of it. The merman told her he would grant her heart's truest wish and asked her what it would be. The young mermaid was confused about what to wish for, so she went to ask her family what they wanted most. Her father said he wanted to be king. Her mother said she wanted to have a pet shark, and her brother said he wanted to marry the love of his life. The powerful merman granted Kalani one wish, but all of her family members got what they wanted. Can you guess what Kalani wished for? Kailani wished that her father, the king, attended her brother's wedding to the love of his life, and that her mother's pet shark be the one that carried the rings down the aisle. Smart girl.
Yes!
Bob was blindfolded and put into a shaky van. When he woke up, he was alone in a dark, empty room. There was nobody there, but there were 3 envelopes on the floor. A post-it on top of the envelope said, "Each envelope contains a red capsule and 2 statements. In one of these envelopes, both statements are false. In another envelope, both statements are true. You have to choose the correct capsule to get out of this alive." He opened the first envelope, saw a capsule and the messages. 1. Don't take this pill. 2. Take the pill from the second envelope. On the second envelope, the note said, 1. Don't take the pill from the first envelope. 2. Take the pill from the third envelope. And the last envelope said, 1. Don't take this pill. 2. Take the pill from the first envelope. Which capsule should Bob take? He should trust the pill from the third envelope. Let's see why. The first message of the first envelope is true, while the second is false. Both messages from the second envelope are true. This leaves us with 2 false statements on the third envelope. It's the finale of the Big Money Buzz show, and Natalie is faced with a difficult task. There are 3 fish bowls, each one of them containing a different amount of gold bars inside. If she manages to put her hand inside one of the bowls and take it out, she can keep the gold bar. The first bowl has scalding hot water inside of it. The second is filled with flesh-burning acid. And the last bowl has a couple of venomous scorpions walking around. Which bowl should she choose? Natalie should just wait until the water cools down and grab the gold bar from the first bowl.
Yes!
Nova wanted to be part of the Binary Bandits. They were an elite cybersecurity group that protected the internet world from hackers. She sent several emails to the group's members, but she was completely ignored. Until one day, she got an encrypted message with a mysterious riddle. It said that if she could answer this riddle, she would be interviewed by a member of the bandits and get a chance to be part of the group. The message said, "Invisible I am, but through circuits I flow. Harness my power and watch your knowledge grow. A key to the future, a virtual seed. Decipher my code and all secrets you'll heed. What am I?" Nova's answer was a 4-letter word, and she got it right. Can you guess what she answered? She answered, "Data." That seemed obvious, huh?
Hey, Brightsider, I see it in your eyes. You need a new riddle workout urgently. Here it goes. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Your first task is to rearrange these letters to spell a single word. What will you get? A single word, of course. The answer was actually in the question itself. How many letters are in the alphabet? The answer might be a bit less straightforward than you'd prefer. You probably already knew that the answer wasn't 26. It would be too simple. There are 11 letters in the words the alphabet. There was a green glass door in the middle of a big city. Rumor had it something mysterious and beautiful was hidden behind this door. A group of friends found the door and tried to go through it. Interestingly, Amanda, Anna, and Oliver managed to sneak inside, while Lauren and Sebastian weren't even able to open the door. What do you think? Will Mark get inside or not? Mark will easily open the door and go through it. Only people whose name contain an even number of letters can do it. Imagine you have 3 eggs. Now I give you 5 eggs. Then your rooster lays 2 more eggs. How many eggs do you have? Just those 5 eggs I gave you. Your imaginary eggs don't count, and roosters don't lay eggs. Look at this picture attentively. Can you figure out which of these 3 men is the boss? It's the man on the right. Do you see that his suit jacket is hanging on the boss's chair? No matter who's standing behind the desk, he's the boss. Now a bit of math for you. How can 4 be half of 5? It's actually possible if we use Roman numerals. Look, this is IV. And it's indeed half, 2 letters out of 4, of the word 5. The next riddle for you. Turn me on my side and I'm everything. Cut me in half and I'm nothing. What am I? I'm the number 8. When on its side, it looks like the infinity sign. But if you cut it in half, it'll turn into 0. I can't talk, but I'll answer you if you speak to me. What am I? I'm an echo. It's orange and sounds like a parrot. What is it? It's a carrot. It belongs to the month of December, but not any other month. It's also not a holiday. Then what is it? The answer is simple. The letter D. It helps you from head to toe. The more it works, the smaller it grows. What is it? It's a bar of soap. How can a pocket have something in it if it has nothing in it? If it has a hole in it, it can definitely have nothing else. It goes up and down, but never moves. What is it? It's stairs. Can you name 4 days of the week that begin with the letter T? To crack this riddle, you need to think a bit outside the box. These days are Tuesday, Thursday, today, and tomorrow. A is B's father, but B isn't A's son. How is it possible? B is A's daughter. What is always in front of you, but you can't see it? It's your future. When I point up, it's bright. When I point down, it's dark. What am I? I'm a light switch. What has to be broken before you can use it? An egg. Can you find a mistake in this picture? It's the wristwatch. Such watches are always manufactured with the crown on the right side. Look at these teapots. If teapot A contains 40 cups of tea, how many cups of tea can teapot B hold? Even though teapot B is larger than teapot A, its spout is placed at the level that corresponds to the middle of teapot A, which means that if you pour inside more than 20 cups, the tea will start overflowing. In what case is this equation correct? When we're talking about time, 1 p.m. plus 20 minutes is the same as 2 p.m. minus 40 minutes. A few college students went camping. They were dancing near the campfire when it suddenly started raining. The campfire got extinguished. One of the students, Eden, had a flashlight and some batteries, 8 in total. 4 of them were charged and 4 were not. Eden didn't know which batteries were charged. What is the least number of attempts Eden will need to light up the flashlight? Eden will need 7 attempts. See for yourself. He'll need to put batteries into 3 groups, 2 groups of 3 and 1 group of 2. It guarantees that at least one of the groups will have gotten 2 working batteries. Each group of 3 requires 3 attempts to verify if 2 batteries of the group are working, while the group of 2 needs 1 attempt. So the total number of attempts is 7. Amy overslept this morning and she's going to be late for work.
Oh, no.
She gets ready, runs to the bus stop, and hops on the only bus waiting there. Uh-oh, it seems to be the wrong bus. There are 3 doors at the back. The driver tells Amy that only one leads to safety. Behind the first door, there's a giant elephant that will step on anyone who isn't gray. Behind the second one, there's a tiger that will eat anyone who isn't orange. Behind the third door, there's an anaconda that will swallow anyone that isn't green.
Uh-oh.
Amy also sees 2 buckets of paint. One is yellow and the other is red. Which door should the girl choose? She should mix the red and yellow paint to get the orange color, paint herself, and head out through the second door. You're heading to the underground parking to get your car when the electricity goes out. You see a glowing 3-digit PIN code lock on your car. On the floor, there's a piece of paper with 009 written on it. You enter the number, but of course, the attempt is unsuccessful. If only everything was so simple. Can you figure out the correct code? All you need to do is flip the paper upside down, and you'll get the correct number. It's 600. John is looking for a gift at a shopping mall. One of the stores has a mysterious extension that leads to a vault filled with diamonds and gold jewelry. As soon as he walks in, the owner pulls the bars down and locks him in the room. He tells John he has to eat one of the 3 cookies lying on the table. Then he'll be set free and get the treasure. The first cookie will turn John into an animal. The second cookie will make him a giant. The last one will make him invisible. Which one should he eat? The first one. He can turn into a mouse and squeeze through the bars. That's how he'll get out and win the gold. Mark and Amy were parents to a boy called Jacob. One day, Mark's laptop disappeared and nobody in the house could find it. They called the police. When a detective arrived and searched the scene, he found a note on Mark's desk. It was written by Jacob. The note read, "Wow." The detective immediately figured out who had taken the laptop. Can you understand it too? It was Amy. If you turn the note upside down, it'll read, "Mom." One day, a public library made a strange announcement. Each member could borrow as many books as they wanted. They also didn't have to return them for the next half a year. Why? The library was moving to a new building, but they didn't have enough money. And this way, the patrons would move most of the books by themselves. Felix goes for a walk. He's carrying a basket with 5 apples. Suddenly, he meets hungry monkeys. How can Felix divide 5 apples among 5 monkeys so that each of them gets an apple, but at the same time 1 apple remains in the basket? Felix doesn't need to cut any of the apples. Just let one of the monkeys eat the apple from the basket. Felix wants to give his mom the best birthday gift ever, but he has 0 ideas. So he decides to sneak into his mom's laptop and check what she'd saved in her online shopping cart. When she's at work, Felix turns on her computer. But it requires a password, and Felix doesn't know it. Luckily, there's a note right next to the computer saying 9869. He enters the code, but it doesn't work. What's the password? Felix should turn the paper upside down. The correct code is 6986. Felix decides to buy a vase for his mom. His friend Greg sells beautiful rare items. There are dozens of vases in his store. Felix arrives at the store and faces a scary scene. Greg's head is bandaged and his store is a mess. Greg says, "Some guys in masks ran into my store. They grabbed the money and the most expensive vases. Then they hit me on the head and I blacked out. The police are coming. I hope they'll find them." Felix immediately understands that Greg is lying to get the insurance money. How did he guess? Even though most of the vases are on the floor, they aren't even cracked. If the vases had fallen from the shelves during the robbery, they would have been shattered. Felix is watching a TV show. Two people participate in a contest. According to the rules, each person has to hold something. Finally, the jury announces the winner. It's the person with their hands and feet tied. How can this be possible? Simple. The participants had to hold their breath, and the tied person managed to hold it the longest. Felix is hanging out with his sisters and mom. They have 3 chocolate bars for 5 people. Felix has to share these bars in such a way that everyone gets the same amount of chocolate. Can you help him? Break each of the bars into 5 pieces. This way, everyone will get 3 pieces in total. A weird sound wakes Felix up in the middle of the night. He runs to the room where his 3 sisters sleep, but one of them is only pretending to be sleeping. Can you guess who? The third sister hid her dirty sneakers under the bed. And there are French fries under her pillow. She just returned home and made noise along the way. The next day, Felix goes to his favorite place for brunch. Luckily, it's happy hour time. They offer a 30% discount on all meals. Felix takes a bagel with salmon for $12, black coffee for $1, and a slice of chocolate cheesecake for $2. After the brunch, Felix leaves the restaurant and finds a $30 bill on the ground. How much money did Felix spend in total? Felix spent a total of $15. As for this $30 bill, it's fake. There are no such dollar banknotes, so his finding doesn't make any difference. Felix is attending his high school reunion. All of his friends seem to be doing well in life. Samantha is wearing expensive brands. Mia has a bunch of the latest smartphones. Jacob shows up in a fancy sports car. And Sean is wearing a luxurious gold watch on his wrist. Take a look at Felix's friends. Can you guess who's really rich? Samantha didn't take off the price tags from her clothes, so she's probably planning on returning them after the reunion. Mia's gadgets are fake. Take a look at the label. It's just a copy of the original brand. As for Sean's watch, it's way bigger than his wrist, so he probably borrowed it from someone else's hand. Therefore, Jacob is the richest person here. Felix is chilling by the pool with his friends. Can you find anything odd here? The weather is warm, but this tree is cold and covered with snow. Felix is having a business trip to Hong Kong. He arrives at the airport and meets two pretty ladies near his gate. One of them is a wanted criminal. Can you guess who? Take a look at the poster on the wall. The criminal has a neck tattoo. Although the first lady has a very similar hairstyle and makeup, her neck is clean and she doesn't hide it from the public eye. Meanwhile, the second lady wrapped a scarf around her neck, probably to hide her tattoo. Busted! Felix arrives in Hong Kong and checks into a cozy hotel. The manager warns him that someone has recently started to rob the hotel rooms every once in a while. The thief is super fast. The police couldn't catch him after another robbery. Felix decides to stay here anyway. He drops his stuff on the bed and goes to the shower. When Felix returns to his room, he sees that his wallet is missing. And the window is wide open. He spots the criminal entering a grocery store nearby. Felix rushes there and finds 3 suspects. Can you tell who the robber is? It's the lady in the middle. The first woman is wearing high heels, which means she wouldn't be able to run so fast. And the third lady has a cast on her leg, so she's not a robber either. Felix goes to his family's house after the business trip. He's very excited to finally eat his favorite chocolates he's been dreaming about all week. But the chocolate is gone. Felix interrogates each of his sisters. Leah says, "I just got home and I haven't eaten anything all day." Diana says, "I was studying all day and I didn't eat anything either." And Kelly says, "It wasn't me who ate the chocolate, but I guess it was Leah." Who did it? Take a closer look at Diana's desk. There's a chocolate wrapper, but she said she didn't eat anything. She must have lied. Felix opens a fancy home decor boutique. One day, an old man comes in. He picks a $30 rug and asks Felix for a discount. And Felix agrees to sell it for $20. The old man gives him a $50 bill. Felix doesn't have any change, so he goes to his friend who works nearby to change the bill. The friend gives Felix 2 $20 bills and 1 $10 bill. Felix gives the old man $30 and puts the remaining $20 in his wallet. The old man leaves with the rug. Soon after that, the friend rushes to the store.
The bill you gave me is fake. I want my money back.
Felix gives his friend his own $50. How much did he lose in total? Felix sold the bag at a $10 discount, so he already lost this money, and then he gave the old guy $30 as change. And he had to return $50 to his friends for the fake bill. But this $20 bill was the one his friend had given him, so Felix had to add $30 from his own pocket. And in total, Felix lost $70. Finally, Felix saved enough money to buy a car. He's having a meeting with 3 guys who want to sell their cars. Each guy tells a few words about their vehicles. Jake says, "I wanted my car to be special, so I bought this one. But now I'm tired of this bright color." Harry says,
I got married and now I'd like to sell my sports car and buy something bigger.
And Will says, "I used to be a beginner, so I purchased a cheap used car, and now I want to sell it." Felix immediately realized that one of the guys is lying. Who? Will. The logo of his car doesn't match the logo on his key.
Well, today, you'll need to be as attentive as you've probably never been. To crack these riddles, you'll have to pay attention to every little detail and try to figure out what is important and what's not. Are you ready?
Yeah.
A student has failed his test and came to his teacher asking how he could improve his marks. The teacher replied, "If you manage to solve my riddle, I'll give you a better mark. You have a cardboard box. It's easier to lift from a wooden floor than from a steel table. What's in the box?" The student thought for a while and answered correctly. What did he say? The box is filled with magnets. Look at these triangles. Which number should be in the last one? It should be 3. To get this answer, you need to subtract the left number from the upper number and multiply the result by the number in the bottom right corner. Now, both of these watches seem perfectly fine, but only at first glance, because one of them is real while the other is just a toy. Can you figure out which is which? The watch on the left is just a toy. Have you noticed that the minute hand is too long to pass around the watch's face while moving? Your task is to separate these trees in such a way that there are 5 rows with 4 trees in each row. How can you do it? That's the best way to fulfill this task. A dangerous criminal managed to escape from the police. He got a job in a wealthy mansion. When the detectives arrived there, they found out that 3 men had been hired recently. They questioned each of them. Michael, the cook, told the police he'd been working in a restaurant before. But then the restaurant went out of business and he found a new job. John, the gardener, answered he had always been interested in plants. After finishing garden design courses, he landed this job. And Robert, the security guard, said his father was the house owner's friend. He helped Robert get his position. Who's the criminal? It's the cook. If you were attentive, you probably noticed that before the police came, he had been trying to make an omelet, but it was full of eggshells. A real cook would have never made such a mistake. Take a look at this picture attentively. A few things are wrong here, but to make your task more complicated, I won't tell you how many mistakes you can find. If you found 3 mistakes, congratulations! Yes, this clock is all messed up. June only has 30 days. And the shoes the girl is wearing are from different pairs. How about this next image? Can you find any mistakes here? There are even more mistakes in this image, 5 in total. First of all, carrots don't grow this way. This thing looks like a fridge, but there are brooms inside. This man has probably failed to decide whether he's going out or staying inside. Look at his shoes. The armchair is missing one of its legs, and the woman is using a lawnmower instead of a vacuum cleaner. How about this? At first sight, perfectly normal breakfast. What's wrong with it? It's the kettle. In a regular electric kettle, max is at the top and min is at the bottom, not vice versa. Duh! It's definitely not the best time to be waiting for a bus. Anyway, can you spot anything weird in this image? The girl in the red dress is perfectly dry, but she doesn't have an umbrella and it's pouring with rain. Now, Sherlock, you need to figure out what's wrong with this picture. It's the river. Where does it disappear after going under the bridge? Something important was stolen from a mansion, and there were two suspects, the cook and the gardener. The gardener said that he had been working in the garden all day, but had gone to call firefighters when he had smelled something that had been burning. The cook, on the other hand, said that she had been working in the kitchen all morning. Who is lying? The cook is a liar. Take a look at that cake on the table. The cook must have left the kitchen at some point for it to burn so badly. Now look at these animals attentively. Which is the odd one? It's this kangaroo. It's the only creature whose name doesn't start with C. Melissa stayed late at work one evening. When she was walking home, it was already dark. Suddenly, she noticed a group of people. They were moving in a strange, jerky way, coming closer and closer. With growing horror, Melissa realized that the approaching people were actually zombies. In the next moment, she got surrounded. Interestingly, the next day, the girl was in the kitchen making a vegetable salad. How is it possible? Look at the calendar hanging on the wall. It's November the 1st. It was Halloween the day before, and zombies were just some dressed-up people. Jerry got a job as a security guard at a supermarket. On his first day, he heard an alarm go off when a young woman was leaving the store. He stopped her and asked whether she had a receipt. She did, so Jerry checked it and the girl's bag. Everything looked okay, but the guy still called the police. Why? Look, the date on the receipt is wrong. It's different from the one on the screen over the entrance. The girl had bought all the products the day before and then came the next day to steal the same stuff. A wealthy businessman was poisoned at a restaurant. When the police arrived, they questioned all the other visitors who were there at that time. Albert said he had been talking on the phone with his brother. Judy told the police she had been waiting in a bathroom line. Diana said she had been writing a report for her boss. And Philip said he had been putting on his clothes, ready to leave. Who is the culprit? It's Judy.
Oh, no.
Besides her, there were only 3 other visitors in the restaurant, and all of them were busy. There couldn't be any people waiting to use the bathroom. It's something that comes with a train, leaves with a train, but is of no use to a train. And yet, no train can go without it. What is it? It's noise. Andrew and his friend Kenneth went to the beach to have some fun. Andrew started to play volleyball with Gary, a guy they met there. After the game was over, Andrew went to a beach bar and ordered a lemonade. But after drinking it, he almost immediately fell sick and lost consciousness. Kenneth called an ambulance and his friend was taken to a hospital. There, it was discovered Andrew had been poisoned. The police questioned the suspects. Kenneth said, "I'm sure the barman put something in Andrew's drink." The barman exclaimed, "Why would I poison my customer? It was probably the guy he played volleyball with. He lost the game and wanted to get revenge." Gary said, "After we finished playing, I went for a swim in the sea. I didn't even know Andrew had been taken to a hospital." Can you figure out who poisoned Andrew? It was the barman. He lied about Gary losing the game to frame the guy. Two girls, Tina and Betty, got lost in the forest. After some time, each of them found a clearing with lots of berries growing there. At that moment, the girls had been starving. They decided to snack on the berries. But for one of them, it's going to be a grave mistake. Which girl is that? Betty is eating berries from endangered plants. She's not supposed to do it, but they won't make her sick. On the other hand, Tina is munching on berries that have bought the farm for a bird, and it ain't coming back. It means they might be poisonous for the girl, too. It's too risky to eat them. Put them down, Tina, and walk away. Ah, good girl. Okay, get ready for the ultimate attention test. Every smallest detail might turn out to be crucial. Let's find out how sharp your eyes really are. Look at these glasses. They're filled with water, and each of them has some object inside. Can you tell me which glass has the largest amount of water? If we compare the weight of these objects, we'll find out that the paperclip is the lightest. That's why the glass holding it has the largest amount of water. Among all these cute babies, try to find a sleeping one. Right, here it is. Wow, that was tricky. Bunnies, bunnies, bunnies. But I know for sure there must be an egg hiding among these cute creatures. Exactly. It's not another ear, it's indeed an egg. Look at these unusual equations. Can you figure out the values of the bee, wasp, and rabbit? The wasp is worth 10, the bee is 12, and the rabbit is worth 6. Now, to crack this riddle, you need to use all your attention skills. Mike was going to take his corgi to the vet, but the pooch has run away and hidden in the garden. Can you find it? Wow, that was a tricky task. Here it is, poor scared pup. A lot is happening in this picture, but you just need to spot one thing, a banana. A little hint, it might be hiding in a very unexpected place. This girl is wearing it as a hairband. Did you manage to spot it? Peter needs to take his dog for a walk, but it's raining outside and the pooch doesn't seem eager to leave this cozy living room. Can you help the guy find his pup? Here it is, near the sofa. It looks like a regular living room, but happiness is hiding here. How fast can you spot it? Here it is. Bingo! Liz followed her mom's order and went to bed without objections. But her mom suspects that her daughter hasn't brushed her teeth. If you manage to find a toothbrush in the girl's bedroom, her mother's suspicions are correct. The toothbrush is hidden on that shelf. Uh-oh, someone is going to be in trouble tomorrow. Despite cold winter weather, Mark set off on a photo trip. His main goal was to capture a bear on film. Unfortunately, Mark isn't very attentive. A bear is watching him, but he doesn't notice the animal. Let's see if you'll be able to help the guy and find a bear in this image. Right, here it is. What a curious creature. Look at this image. How many triangles can you see? There are 44 triangles here. Have you got it right? What seems to be odd in this picture? It's definitely the McDonald's sign, but isn't it too early for it? How good are you at math? We'll see in a moment. If A plus A equals B, B plus B equals D, A plus D equals E, then how much is B plus D plus E? It's the letter K, which equals 11. All these letters represent their positions in the alphabet: A1, B2, C3, D4, and E5. 2 plus 4 plus 5 equal 11, and that's the letter K. Now, look attentively. Can you find a car in this black and white image? There it is, hiding in the corner. Now, this one is probably the trickiest riddle out there. I've spent ages trying to figure out the answer. Can you find a ring in this image? Here it is, placed on top of a carrot. Whew! Can you find the answer to this equation? The answer is 3. See for yourself. A cat equals 4, a mouse is 3, and cheese is worth 2. Then, 4 minus 3 plus 2 is 3. Take a look at these creatures. They all seem to be zombies. But in reality, just one of them is the real monster. Can you figure out which one? It's the girl on the right. She has an eye floating in her drink. Can you spot a werewolf among these men? Be very attentive to every detail. I hope you've noticed that large, beautiful full moon shining through the window. Then you must have deduced that none of these men is a werewolf. Otherwise, he would have already transformed. Your friend has invited you for a walk in the park. She offered you 3 places to choose from. Which one should you pick? A wolf is hiding in the bushes in the first park. In park number 3, there is a snake in the grass. Only the second park is safe for a nice long walk. Can you find 5 hearts in this image? Here they all are. How many of them have you managed to spot? There are 4 mistakes in this image. Can you find them all? One, the dolphin seems to be missing its flippers. 2, this thing on the girl's back doesn't look like an oxygen tank. 3, a butterfly at the bottom of the sea. 4, someone has written SOS on the sandy bottom. I guess it's pretty much useless. No one is going to see this cry for help anyway. Larry's mother asked the guy to do some grocery shopping. She gave him a shopping list and her bank card. But the woman knew her son was very absent-minded. That's why she gave Larry a small note in case he forgot the card's PIN number. When the guy was at the register, he realized he had indeed forgotten the PIN. Larry pulled the note out of his pocket and immediately remembered the PIN. Can you figure out what it was if the note had a fly, a cat, a person, and a snake drawn on it? The PIN was 6420. Larry just had to count the number of legs on each creature. Thomas loved asking his friends to solve all kinds of funny riddles. If they answered correctly, he helped them with whatever they had problems with. One day, Daniel came to Thomas and asked for help with his math exam. He knew the rules, though. He had to solve one riddle first. What kind of running leads to walking? Thomas asked. Do you know the correct answer? Daniel said, running out of gas, and he was right. But helping your friend with exam preparation is a difficult task. That's why Thomas asked Daniel to solve one more riddle. A woman drove from Seattle to Los Angeles. It took her 2 days to get to her destination. That's when she discovered one of her tires was punctured. Then how did she manage to get to Los Angeles? Daniel cracked this riddle. Can you do the same? The punctured tire was the spare one. Ooh, that was lucky. Detective Oliver Smith was leaving for work in the morning when he saw a man running out of his neighbor's house. He stopped the guy who said his name was Paul. He came to visit his colleague about 30 minutes ago and saw him fighting with a man. The door was locked and Paul couldn't get inside to help. While he was trying to find the way to enter the house, the criminal left. Paul entered and saw his colleague lying on the kitchen floor, unconscious. Oliver and Paul came into the house. Nothing seemed to be out of the ordinary, but after looking around the kitchen, the detective arrested the man. Why? Paul was the one to attack Oliver's neighbor. If his words were true, fried eggs would have already been burned after 30 minutes of cooking. Detective Parkson was working on a tricky case. One day, he vanished. His colleagues found an encrypted note on his desk. It looked like this. The officers knew Parkson had 3 suspects: Milana, Susan, and Emily. Who had some information about the detective's disappearance? After some time, one of the police officers cracked the code. D plus 1 equals E, L plus 1 equals M, and so on. It was Emily who knew where the detective was. Well, aren't you the smarty pants? Good work.
Yeah.
Meg is a college student, and sometimes she works as a DJ at the local club. Today, she's walking home after work and sees a band of criminals robbing a bank. They notice her and decide to get rid of the witness. They grab Meg and take her to their secret hideout. Meg looks around and finds 3 doors leading to freedom, but there's a danger behind each door. The first passage is filled with toxic gas. There's a hungry wild wolf behind the second door, and a magic song is played behind the third door. It's cursed and makes people go crazy in a second. Which door is safe? Meg can put her headphones on and turn on some loud music to avoid listening to the cursed song. Meg goes to a fancy SPA hotel on a Friday night. She returns home the next morning at 9 a.m. She finds a bunch of flowers and heart-shaped balloons near her apartment door. The secret admirer is unknown, but Meg identifies 3 suspects. She interviews all of them. She asks just one question: "What did you do last night?" Noah, Meg's classmate, replies, "I was at a party with my friends. I came home at about 6 a.m. Meg's ex-boyfriend, Jacob, replies, "I went to the movies with my new girlfriend. Then we went over to her place, and I came home half an hour ago, so I didn't have time to send you flowers, Meg." And Meg's best friend, Mike, says, "I had a fight with my mother in the evening, so I grabbed my laptop and went to the park. I played computer games in the street all night long, and then I fell asleep right on the bench." Who's lying? Mike. He couldn't be playing all night long without recharging his laptop. Meg is walking down the street. She carries an expensive laptop in her bag. Suddenly, a masked thief grabs her bag and runs away. Meg starts chasing him and sees that the criminal enters a hospital. Meg follows him. Oh no, there are hundreds of rooms here. Luckily, it's raining and the criminal leaves footprints on the hospital floor. Meg follows them and gets into a room. There are 3 people here, all covered with bandages from head to toe. Can you help Meg spot the thief? It's the third guy. He doesn't even have a medical chart next to his bed. Mike invites Meg on a date. She goes shopping with her friend Maya to find the perfect outfit for the night. Maya takes a couple of pictures of Meg. Can you spot 3 differences between them? Here they are. After shopping, Meg and Maya decide to visit a beauty salon, but it turns out that one of these hairstylists is an imposter. Can you guess who? It's the guy on the right. He's spraying the client's hair with bug spray. Mike and Meg go on a date, but one of the guests in the restaurant is not a real human being. Can you guess who? This lady. Take a look under her table. She's a mermaid. Meg is having an important test today, and time is up. She puts her final exam paper into a pile with the other students, but the professor tells her, "I saw you cheating on the test. You'll get an automatic fail." Meg replies, "Do you know who I am?" The professor says, "I neither know nor care who you are. You have to be punished for your dishonesty." Meg walks away, speechless. The next day, the professor announces the grades, and Meg discovers that she got an A. How come? The professor indeed didn't know who Meg was. That's why he graded her paper just like everyone else's. Meg and Mike realize they can't live without each other. The next day, they start looking for an apartment. They go to 3 agencies. Each agency shows them one apartment. The guy likes them all, but they heard many bad rumors about realtors. That's why they take a closer look at the documents. Which apartment should they choose? They should pick the third option. The first apartment is on the 5th floor, but that's impossible. The building only has 2 stories. The agent is lying. As for the second apartment, the description claims that it only has 1 bedroom, but the blueprint shows 2. Mike goes to his granny's old country house to take some furniture and a TV for their new apartment. Nobody lived there for a while, so this place is pretty dusty. Mike enters the living room and sees that the TV is broken. He questions 3 neighbors. Andy says, "I didn't do it, but I guess it was Kyle. He's been acting pretty weird recently." Kyle says,
It wasn't me. It was Bill. He broke my fence last week for no reason.
and Bill says,
I didn't do it. I'm pretty sure it was Kyle. He's just trying to set me up.
"Who broke the TV?" Let's take a look at the TV screen. It was pierced with a garden fork. Kyle is holding a garden fork in his hands, but it only has 3 prongs, while there are 4 holes in the screen. Meanwhile, Andy's holding a 4-tined pitchfork in his garage. Busted! Meg loves art, so she's visiting an art exhibition to find something special for their interior. The art dealer says that this rare work was painted in the Middle Ages. Meg takes a closer look and says, "You're a liar! This piece is fake!" How did she know? They didn't use light bulbs or electricity in the Middle Ages. What about this painting? Can you spot anything odd? They didn't have smartphones in the Viking era. Let's see if you can spot a mistake in this painting. There are dinos in the background. They went extinct a long time before the Baroque era. Meg and Mike get an invitation to a wedding. This is the groom, Alex. He's an old friend of Meg. And his future wife's name is Nellie. Which of these ladies is Nellie? It's the third lady. She's wearing a name bracelet. Meg and Mike return home from the wedding. Unfortunately, someone robbed their apartment. The police arrive quickly and examine the crime scene. They question 3 neighbors who live on the guy's floor. Tilda says, "I was watching my favorite show in my headphones all day long. I don't know what happened." Steven says, "I was riding a bicycle in the park all day. I returned a couple of hours ago and went to the shower. Your door looked as usual." And Megan says, "I had a party in my apartment. We had dinner and talked loudly, so I didn't notice anything suspicious." Who's lying? Steven. His leg is in a cast, so his story about the bike must be fake. Mike has just returned from a supermarket, but unfortunately, someone changed the 5-number code on the combination lock. So he can't get into the apartment building. Can you help him crack the code? There's a note next to the door. It's a clue. Count the number of elements in each emoji and you'll get the code. 3, 5, 1, 5, and 2. Mike works in a coffee shop. He leaves his phone charging on a table and goes to the toilet. After a while, Mike returns and finds out that his gadget is gone. He decides to question 3 witnesses standing nearby. Ava, the customer, says,
Sorry, I've been talking on the phone with my boyfriend. I didn't look around.
Another customer, Rocky, says, I entered the coffee shop a second ago. I didn't see a phone, man. And Holly says,
Sorry, I was too busy preparing beverages for our clients. I didn't notice anything suspicious.
Who's lying? Rocky. He was standing in the line before Mike even left for the toilet, so his story's a lie. Mike and Meg are walking in the park, late at night. Everything seems so romantic, but suddenly, the guys notice something really creepy and run away. What scared them so much? Let's take a look at the trees. The wind is blowing from left to right, but the flowers sway from right to left as well as the clouds. It must be a ghost. David was crazy about mountain biking. It was his biggest passion in life, but his wife Jessica hated his hobby. She thought it was too dangerous. Once, David's friend Oliver invited him on an exciting rock climbing trip. David knew his wife would be against this idea, so he told her he would go fishing to the nearest lake for a couple of days. Jessica agreed but asked her husband to send a photo of him fishing. Once David arrived at the foot of the mountain, he photoshopped a fishing photo and sent it to his wife. As soon as she saw it, she immediately realized it was a fake. How come? Look, it's snowing. It means there has to be snow at the nearest lake too, but the photo David sent is totally snow-free. John had been in jail for a year. All this time, he'd been waiting for an opportunity to escape. One summer morning, he finally managed to break free. But it didn't go unnoticed. Several security guards started to follow John, and the man had to hide in the ladies' room. Look at the picture and try to figure out where John is. The man's hiding in the third stall. He wouldn't have had enough time to get a pair of women's shoes. An infinite number of mathematicians are waiting to make their orders in a coffee shop. The first one asks the barista for half a gallon of coffee. The second wants to have a quarter of a gallon. The third needs an eighth, and so on. How many gallons of coffee will the barista need to fulfill the wishes of all the mathematicians? Just one. A horse travels a certain distance every day. Strangely enough, 2 of its legs travel 20 miles every day, while the other 2 legs travel nearly 20.5 miles. It would seem that 2 of the horse's legs must be half a mile ahead of the other 2, but of course, this can't be true. The horse is a regular animal, so how is this situation possible? The horse operates the mill and travels in a circular clockwise direction. The 2 outside legs travel a greater distance than the inside ones. Now, I want to ask you not to take this riddle too seriously. Okay? Then listen attentively. There are 10 people in a house. Everyone wants to shake hands only with people shorter than themselves. Let's assume that everybody is different in height. How many handshakes will be made? And the correct answer is 0. Taller people do want to shake hands with shorter ones, that's true, but no one says that shorter people will want to shake hands with them in return. A man was to be sentenced for his crimes, and the judge told him, "You may make a statement. If it's true, I'll sentence you to 2 years in prison. If it's false, I'll sentence you to 5 years in prison." After the man made his statement, the judge decided to set him free. Can you figure out what the man said? He said, "You'll sentence me to 5 years in prison." If it was true, then the judge would have to make it false by sentencing him to 2 years. If it was false, then he would have to give him 5 years, which would make it true. So rather than contradict his own word, the judge set the man free. Look at these 2 women driving. One of them is actually a car thief. Can you figure out which one? It's the elderly lady. See those scratches near the door handle? A man got stranded on an island, and one of the main issues was that he couldn't swim. However, he managed to get off the island and return home safely. How did he do it? No one said the man got stranded on a deserted island. He just found some people and asked them to take him home by boat. A woman jumped off a cliff, but she didn't get hurt. How is this possible? She jumped off a cliff into a swimming pool in the water park. A boy fell off a 30-foot ladder, but he didn't get hurt. How is this possible? The boy fell off the bottom rung of the ladder. Now it's time to think outside the box. What will you get if you add 3 to 300 5 times? That's simple. 303, 303, 303, 303, 303. Now, what king can you make if you take the head of a lamb, the middle of a pig, the hind of a buffalo, and the tail of a dragon? You'll get a lion, the king of the jungle. See for yourself. The head of a lamb, the middle of a pig, the hind of a buffalo, and the tail of a dragon. L-I-O-N, lion. Martin had 3 daughters. The eldest daughter was the most honest girl in the universe. She always told the truth. The middle daughter sometimes told the truth, but sometimes she lied. The youngest daughter never said a single word of truth. One day, Martin brought home a marriage proposal for one of the girls. It was from a wealthy man named John. He wanted to marry either the eldest or the youngest daughter. This way, he could easily figure out whether the girl told the truth or lied. Martin had a condition for him. He said that he wouldn't tell John who the eldest, middle, or youngest daughter was. Also, he allowed John to ask only one question to identify the eldest or the youngest girl. And still, John asked just one question and found the right girl. What was the question? The question John asked was, is she older than her? He addressed his question to one of the daughters, pointing at the other 2. You see, if the girl he asked turned out to be the eldest daughter, he'd know who the youngest one was, because no matter what, the eldest daughter always told the truth. If the girl he asked was the middle one, it wouldn't matter because the other 2 girls would both be acceptable choices. And if he asked the youngest daughter, she would lie, and he would identify the eldest girl. In any case, he needed to choose the youngest one based on the answer. Eric got lost in a museum. While he was trying to find a way out, it got late. All the doors were closed. Finally, he saw 3 staircases. The first one was all covered in bizarre nettles with razor-sharp leaves and long spikes. The second had giant stinking flowers with a stench almost impossible to bear. And the third staircase was an impassable jungle of cacti. Which staircase should Eric choose? He should run down the second staircase. Even though the flowers are gross, they're relatively harmless. Sarah got lost in a jungle. After wandering for hours, she finally came to a clearing with 3 narrow paths. Unfortunately, one of them was blocked by massive bushes with sharp thorns. The second was covered with trash and broken glass. And the third path was guarded by huge, scary-looking mantises. Which path should Sarah brave? The girl should choose the third path. Even though mantises look threatening, they're totally harmless. Chris was a truck driver. One Friday afternoon, he left Orangetown and was driving along the highway when he saw a man lying on the side of the road. Chris stopped and ran towards the man. After some time, he managed to bring the man around. His story was rather dramatic. He was a hitchhiker who tried to get to Orangetown, but halfway there, he had an argument with the driver and was thrown out of the car. The hitchhiker hit his head and lost consciousness. Now he was begging Chris to give him a lift to the town. Chris didn't believe the man's story and refused to help him. Why? The hitchhiker was lying on the right side of the road, but if he was going to Orangetown, he would be on the left side. It always stays hot, even when it's in the refrigerator. What is it? A pepper. Mike was on his way to visit his grandma, who lived on the other side of the valley. It was her anniversary, so he wanted to give her the cakes he had made. Between Mike's house and her house, the guy had to cross 5 bridges. And as it was in the land of make-believe, there was a troll under every bridge. Each troll insisted that Mike pay a troll toll. Before the guy could cross their bridge, he had to give them half of the cakes he was carrying. But since they were kind trolls, each of them gave Mike back an entire cake. How many cakes did Mike have to take with him to make sure that he arrived at his grandma's house with exactly 2 cakes? Mike needs to take 2 cakes. At each bridge, he's required to give half of his cakes, and he receives 1 back, which leaves him with 2 cakes after every bridge. Last week, the local primary school was visited by a school inspector who was there to make sure that teachers were performing well in the respective classes. He was very impressed with one particular teacher. The inspector noticed that each time she asked a question, every child in the class raised their hand, eager to answer it. Even more surprisingly, even though the teacher always chose a different child to answer the question, the replies were always correct. What was the secret? All the children were instructed to raise their hands whenever a question was asked. It didn't matter whether they knew the answer or not. If they did not know the answer, however, they had to raise their left hand. If they knew the answer, they would raise their right hand. The class teacher would choose a different child each time, but always only the ones who had their right hand raised. Mr. Brown opened a newspaper in the morning and saw a headline, "Workers want to make less money." He was confused until he read the article. What was going on? The workers who wanted to make less money worked at the mint and were tired of being overworked. They want to work less, which means making less money since the money is made at the mint. A frog is at the bottom of a well. To get out of it, it needs to climb 30 feet. Each morning, the frog jumps 3 feet up the path, but each night, as it sleeps, it slips 2 feet back down. Thus, at the beginning of the first day, the frog has 30 feet to go. At the beginning of the second day, it has 29 feet to go, and so on. How many days will it take the frog to get out of the well? It'll take 28 days for the frog to get out. In other words, it'll get out on the morning of the 28th day. This is because at the beginning of the 28th day, the frog has 3 feet left to travel. And since the frog jumps 3 feet forward each morning, it will jump out of the well on this day. A man worked for a high-security institution. One day, he went into work only to find that he could not log into his computer terminal. His password wouldn't work. Then he remembered that all the passwords were reset every month for security purposes. So he went to his boss and said,
Hey boss, my password is out of date.
The boss answered, "Yeah, that's right. The password is different, but if you listen carefully, you'll be able to guess the new one. It has the same number of letters as your old password, but only 4 of the letters are the same." The man answered,
Thanks, boss.
went back to his computer and correctly logged into his station. What was his new password? You'll get an extra smart bonus if you guess what his old password was. I'll give you a hint. The man's password is 9 letters long, and it can be more than one word. The old password was out of date, and the new one is different. The man said, "My password is out of date," and the boss told him the new one when he said, "The password is different." Many years ago, one guy was captured by an evil witch who kept him in her house. There was a cellar door in the house, and the witch warned the guy to never open it because he was not ready to see what was behind it. Can you guess what was on the other side of the door that the witch didn't want the guy to see? The guy was actually locked in the cellar, and on the other side of the door is the rest of the house and the outside world. The witch just didn't want the guy to escape. Marty and Jill want to copy 3 60-minute tapes. They have 2 tape recorders that will dub the tapes for them, so they can do 2 at a time. It takes 30 minutes for each side to complete. Therefore, in 1 hour, 2 tapes will be completed, and in another hour, the third will be done. Jill says all 3 tapes can be finished in 90 minutes. How is it possible? Jill will rotate the 3 tapes. Let's call them tapes 1, 2, and 3, with sides A and B. In the first 30 minutes, they will work with 1A and 2A. In the second 30 minutes, they will record 1B and 3A. Tape 1 is now done. Finally, in the last 30 minutes, they will tape 2B and 3B. Let's say you have 2 jugs. One of them holds exactly 3 gallons, and the other holds 5 gallons. With the help of just these 2 jugs and a fire hose, how can you measure out exactly 4 gallons of water? Fill the 5-gallon jug to the top, then pour it into the 3-gallon jug until it's full. You now have 2 gallons of water remaining in the 5-gallon jug. Pour out the water from the 3-gallon jug, and then pour the 2 gallons from the 5-gallon jug into the 3-gallon one. Finally, fill the 5-gallon jug to the top and pour it into the 3-gallon jug until it's full. There was only space left for 1 more gallon in the 3-gallon jug. So you now have exactly 4 gallons in the 5-gallon jug. One day, a boss told his employees, "I can fight and beat any man who works here." A new employee, a 7-foot-tall ex-prizefighter, decided to challenge the boss. Interestingly, the boss won the bet, even though he didn't defeat the man. What did the boss do? It's simple. Not to lose face, he fired the new employee on the spot so that he didn't work in the company anymore. Now let's check how attentive you are. Look at this note. Can you find a mistake here? The mistake is actually in the task itself, at the end. See? The word find is misspelled. The next task is even trickier. Can you spot a heart-shaped berry among all these berries? Right, here it is. Wow, that was tricky. Look at this watch. What's wrong with it? The time is messed up. After 8, we've got 11, then 10, and then 9. How about this image? What's wrong here? Actually, there's 2 mistakes here. The prices with the numbers 3 and 18 are placed upside down. This situation can't exist in reality. Why? If we compare the size of the cargo ship and the width of the passage, we'll understand that it's impossible for such a huge vessel to squeeze through such a narrow passage. And this picture, there's something seriously wrong with it. Can you figure out what exactly? Look at the calendar, September 31, but this date doesn't exist.